What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Bucks on Deck podcast episode. We talked about the Altoona hitters yesterday. Today, we're going to touch on the pitching staff for the 2026 Altoona Curve, at least the break camp roster. Not many of the high-profile names, and the headliner of the group is going to be Khristian Curtis, right-handed pitcher. Was like a 12th round pick by the Pirates a couple years ago. Got an over slot signing. I think if you've followed along on Bucks on Duck at all, you're probably pretty familiar with them. He's one of my favorite arms in the system. Actually had the chance to talk to him recently over on North Shore 9. I'm doing a podcast with them now to highlight some prospects throughout the system. If you get an opportunity, make sure you go over there and subscribe to them. Every Saturday morning, we'll have a new episode out. But back over on this side, Khristian Curtis, right-handed pitcher, had some arm issues in college, botched surgery, almost left him without use of his arm. So he's been working his way back with that. It seems like everything's all good. Got off to a rough start in April. Had an 11.48 ERA, allowed 17 earned runs and 13 in the third inning. But after that, from May 1st all the way through the end of the season, he went 8-3, posted a 2.87 ERA, and struck out 102 batters. And the most important part of that, walk rate dropped under 10%. It's kind of the biggest thing for him is the control. I mentioned on the other show, I do believe that there's another gear in Curtis that we haven't seen yet, just because of how little he pitched in college, and now he's pitching more and more. Made some changes to the arsenal. The cutter is a little less like a short slider and more like a traditional cut fastball in the mid-90s. So that'll be exciting to kind of see that more and how he utilizes it more, but mixes that with the fastball slider curve, which you said it's more of a traditional 12-6 curve now. And then the changeup is one of those like high-speed changeups, kind of like a screwballish thing, kind of like what you see from Devin Williams. Fastball mid to upper 90s, good carry up in the zone. Just a real exciting arm. Pirates have been incredible at identifying pitching talent, and it's something that they've done with Curtis. He'll start in AAA, but it wouldn't surprise me, especially if the control, what we saw towards the end of the year last year, is kind of like where he's at now. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he's in Indianapolis by the end of the season. Another starting pitcher, I'm going to start with most of the guys who we don't have confirmation on, but probably will be part of the rotation going forward. Wietgrefe, 8th round pick out of Minnesota. Didn't really think too much of him. Kind of looked like maybe like a reliever, maybe a multi-inning guy, not overpowering. Then he came out last year, his first full season in the minors, and threw 116 innings and posted a 3.10 ERA. More of an old school, crafty lefty, throws from an awkward arm slot. Struck out over 100 batters last year. Made one start with Altoona to close out the season. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks against Erie, which at the time had Max Clark and Kevin McGonigal on it. Like I said, more of a crafty lefty. He isn't going to overpower stuff. Some of the best control in this system. So he's going to pound the strike zone with it's like a 2-seamer, sinker, fastball, change up and slider. Interesting stuff. Obviously, like the velo isn't anything overwhelming. It's like in the low 90s, but he hits his spots. He gets good movement on the pitch, and so he's someone that you could kind of feel like 10 years down the road that like he quietly had like a 10-year major league career and just kind of like bouncing around and as a back of the rotation starter. Follow that up. Po Yu Chen probably be another starter there. He'll be in Altoona this year. Biggest thing with him, he's more of kind of just an innings eater. He's had 3 straight seasons where he's thrown at least 100 innings pitched. He has a really good splitter. Grades out to plus or better sometimes. Curveball, slider, cutter. Fastball is kind of the issue. Low 90s fastball. It's very hittable. So he's more of a depth inning eater. Every rotation would love to have a guy who you can count on to have 100+ innings year in, year out, and Altoona should get that from Chen this year. Not sure the exact role here, but I think the other big marquee name that's going to be here is going to be Anthony Solometo. Missed most of last year, made 2 starts with Altoona before going on the injured list, came back, made 1 rehab appearance with Bradenton, was scratched from his second, and then didn't pitch again the rest of the year. It was some sort of shoulder injury. He's 23 years old now. He was a 2021 second-round pick. Got to Altoona fairly quickly, and then just kind of stalled out. He's almost like Connor Wietgrefe in that sense. It's not overpowering with the fastball. It's going to be high 80s, low 90s. We'll see how it is after the shoulder injury. And he throws from that funky delivery that's kind of hard to pick up on the ball. And if he can get back to throwing strikes consistently, he might be able to refine his prospect status. But I think with his wide platoon splits too, he might be someone that's worth like throwing into the bullpen if things don't work out, especially if things don't seem like they're working out this year. So not sure on the kind of role that he's going to have, but I imagine that even if he isn't in the like quote unquote rotation, he'll get some run in some multi-inning situations. Peyton Stumbo was a 20th round pick, so he was the last pick of the draft class for the Pirates. So expectations not usually high for guys like that, but he's had a pretty solid career in the minors, in the lower levels. Last year they kind of slid him into the rotation full time, through 90 innings, had a 4.30 ERA. The xFIP looked like he performed better than that. Struck out 81, pretty good walk rate. The fastball is one of the like analytical fastballs that play well up in the zone, and then he tunnels the curveball off of it. So that helps him get a lot of success, or maybe more success than what the stuff might say. And he keeps the ball on the ground. The ground ball rate's much better than the fly ball rate. So that's something that, especially now that he's getting into the upper minors, he's one of, if not the only guy that hasn't seen Double A yet. So we'll see how that works out, if he's part of the rotation or kind of like a bulk multi-ending kind of guy. Dominic Parachi, the Altoona. Pirates don't have many left-handers in the minors, but like Altoona has quite a few of them on here, so that'll be interesting to see how they work that out. Parachi, 100+ innings in 2024 and had a 3.53 ERA. Injuries limited, just 50 and 2/3 innings. Most of the success has come in high A. He's done very well at the high A level, but last year he had a near 5 ERA in Double A. Has 2 good breaking balls, a fastball in the low 90s. So when he's kind of going, he's attack up high and kind of work the breaking pitches off of it. Another guy that he won't be in the rotation immediately because he'll start on the injured list, but Alessandro Urcolani, San Marino guy, so kind of new. Was supposed to pitch for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic, but he was scratched and dropped out of it due to the injury. He'll turn 22 later this month, so he's still young, and he threw 100 innings last year in Double A. Starting to kind of get the feeling that maybe he's better as like a multi-inning guy out of the bullpen, but he's still plenty young that if he gets back in time, then they can give him like another pretty good run in as a starter. Now going through some of these guys that are probably in the bullpen, Landon Tompkins is a guy that, like a depth arm that I really like. Sinker slider, it's extreme like east-west stuff. He gets a 50-plus ground ball rate, has 14 saves over the last 2 years. So, a guy that you can kind of feel confident with throwing in late innings kind of thing. Hides the ball well, good deception. Jaden Woods, guy I've been high on for a while. He has the stuff, just hasn't really kind of put it together. And it's 5+ ERA the last couple of years on there. Time is probably running out. It's repeating Double-A again, but the stuff remains very intriguing to see if like it all kind of comes together. Brandon Neek put together a strong spring, played in some Major League spring training games. Another sinker slider guy, plus extension, has had control issues. Pirates got him out of the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft. Garrett McMillan, he'll start on the injured list. I talked to McMillan, he last year while he was in Greensboro, and he made some changes to the arsenal, and he's one of those guys that kind of has like outlier fastball characteristics, so like the shape's real good on it, so it allows him to have a lot of success at the top of the zone with that, despite throwing 91, 92. He's a guy that said that was one of the big reasons why the Pirates like pursued him in the draft, was because of the outliers fastball stuff. We know the Pirates like that stuff, so you don't necessarily need to have upper 90s velocity sometimes if you have the proper shape and you can command it well in the zone. Emmanuel Chapman, kind of, multi-inning guy, bullpen guy, spot starter, older guy, 27, 28. Cy Nielsen, Mike Walsh. If it wasn't for Brandon Bridbois, there's a good chance that Walsh just wins like the reliever of the year in the Pirate system. Very good sidewinder kind of thrower. Nice. When he's good on, it's the slider looks like a frisbee out his hands. And Joshua Loshorn, he pitched a little bit in Double-A last year. Dominic Pipkin and Tyrone Euler are both newly acquired minor league free agents. And that'll pretty much round out the bullpen. And that's so. Remember, go back a couple days now, and you'll see the Altoona preview for the hitters. Today we covered the pitchers. Next couple days we'll cover Greensboro hitters and pitchers, and then we'll wrap things up with the Bradenton hitters and pitchers. We should be done with all that by early next week. And remember, as always, subscribe to Bucks on Deck Substack. You get daily updates on the Pirates organization. Check out the YouTube channel. Have some videos, have some long-form videos I'm working on. So be the look on that. We're going to start leaning into more some of the video / podcasting stuff here in this season and kind of see how things go. So subscribe to all that and have a good day. We'll catch you next time.